Hey guys, Shoutout Games here doing another video, and today we're going to be doing more Devil Fruit Explained videos. Actually, I can't even say last week. That shit was like 2 months ago. I'm going to be completely honest. Your boy done fell off. Remember when I made that 2018 resolutions list for New Year's? Yeah, that shit did not work out. Yeah. Anyway, it's okay, because we back. About to do another Devil Fruit Explained video. Today, we're going to be going over the Mera Mera No Mi, used by Ace formerly, and now used by Sabo. Let's get it. Dynamite. Alright, so starting off inside chapter 158, this is when Ace showed up and we actually got to see the fruit in action. It actually wasn't until much later in chapter 700 did we actually get to see the fruit itself, which is kind of weird, but you know, it's whatever. That's like a lot of fucking chapters, man. Explaining the fruit, the Mera Mera No Mi is a Logia type fruit, just like the Yami Yami No Mi is. But unlike the Yami Yami No Mi, which you can't turn into your own element, well, you can, but it kind of like hurts you still. You can't really turn into your own element and let things pass through you or some shit like that. The Mera Mera No Mi actually lets you turn into fire, which means that you can let stuff pass through you. Somebody could hit you with like a hammer, and the hammer's just gonna go through fire. Somebody could punch you, it's gonna turn to the fire. As long as you have the Logia reflex ready, you know, and if you're a master, you don't even have to know where the attack is coming from. As long as it doesn't have Haki, you'll be alright. Using this Logia form, this could potentially be really dangerous for any opponent that's actually trying to fight, you know, the person with the fruit. I say that because with you turning into fire, this means that if you were to have like a melee type of opponent, if somebody were to punch you, by turning into fire, you're simultaneously not only not getting harmed by their attack, but you're also burning them because, you know, you're fire. Now, also because it's fire, this makes for an extremely powerful devil fruit. Alright, so check this out. There's a reason that Ace became the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. He was powerful. And if I'm gonna be completely honest, he was powerful, but if only because of this fucking fruit. Basically, with this fruit, you know, you can create, control, and turn into fire. Simple enough, right? Now, applying all of these applications with whichever way that you so please, you can do a whole bunch of stuff with it. For example, like Ace, with his namesake, he was able to create whole fire fists out of Ace. I said out of Ace. One take out of fire. So basically, he would light his hand on fire with, like, you know, just straight fire or whatever. Cock back his fist like he's about to throw a punch. Actually throw a punch, but instead of, like, you know, he's trying to punch an opponent, a fist or a column of just straight fire will come out of his fist and just completely obliterate most of anybody that comes through his way. Now, you would think that with it being fire, it would kind of just like blow past you. And it would still burn you, but it would kind of blow past you. I guess the fire has some type of physical aspect to it, because when he uses it, it's kind of like, it has a lot of kinetic force behind it. So much so that it's able to actually send someone flying with a punch as if it were solid, but it still physically burns you like it's fire. I mention this because with this ability, you'll see in theory the potential part that I'm going to do with this. There's a lot of things that Ace could have done. Yeah, there's just a lot of shit that he could have done. Anyway, because he didn't use this fruit to his full potential. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you guys that right now. Going over the stuff that he and Sabo were able to produce with the fruit. Now, this is mostly just going to be Ace, because if we're being completely honest, Sabo didn't do anything new with the fruit. Now, we're going over Ace here. Of course, he has his, you know, fire fist, or, you know, whatever. We already went over that. But of course, since he has, you know, he has the power to produce and control fire, he can do a whole plethora of attacks. So, for one, he has the Kagado, which is the heat haze, which allows him to just the stream of fire from his palms. It's kind of like a wall of fire. He used this against Smoker when Smoker was trying to do his shit. He's just kind of wall of fire. Of course, we have the Hiken, which is his fire fist, which we already talked about. We have his Higen, which is by far the funniest shit that I've ever seen, because when he used it in the war, it's just kind of like he makes his fingers in the shape of guns. Like, you know, like how kids be like, you know, and rappers be all like bang bang, gang gang, you know, all that shit, you know, feel me? He takes his fingers, makes them into guns, and then he actually starts projecting like fire bullets from his gun, like from his handgun or whatever. Not an actual handgun, but you know, his hand that, you know, he's making into it. You get the idea. Anyway, he shoots like bullets. So it's like they're bullets, but I don't think he actually takes any recoil from it, but it's like he does when he used it inside the anime during the Marineford War arc. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, moving right along, you have Enkai, which is his, you know, flame commandment. With this flame command, basically what it is that he usually spawns a big body of fire around him. With it, he can perform moves like the fire pillar, which is him just producing a whole bunch of fire around him using the Enkai or the flame commandment as before. And then he just kind of like puts his hand on the ground, and then a stream of fire will just burst up and just explode. Like, it just blows enemies' backs. It's most notably used, in my opinion, like I really learned about it when I was playing Burning Blood, One Piece Burning Blood, and I think it was used in the anime during once when Sabo and Luffy finally, not Sabo and Luffy, I'm dumb. Luffy and Ace, one take, Luffy and Ace finally got out of the, like, Luffy finally got Ace out of the jail cell thing, and then I think that's when the time where he used it. I may be wrong about that, I'm not sure. Anyway, his Harutobi, which is, I actually think this is the coolest thing about Ace's fruit. It also I think it kind of confirms some things for me, because he kind of like, I don't know how, but by somehow using his fire, he's able to produce green, kind of yellow types of fire. So it's like he just like, you know, we all know the Kamehameha, okay? So like at the ending post of the Kamehameha, when, you know, the stuff comes out, he kind of just puts his hands together like that, and then his hands kind of like glow, and little balls of green and yellow, I guess balls of fire, come out of his hands. And, you know, obviously fireflies are like green and shit, so you call them fireflies. That's what the name is called. That's what the name of the attack is called in English. Anyway, it comes out, and then it surrounds your opponent, and then it just spontaneously catches on fire. So it's kind of like that move that I think that the move that Piccolo used against Android 17, and then he made all of them come together and just completely smack the shit out of him. Yeah, and he sets these little balls of fire ablaze by using the Hidorama, which is fiery doll. Please don't get mad at me if I butcher these names, because that's where I'm gonna butcher them. Anyway, it's like he like sets them on fire. That's how we got Blackbeard. He used it like once. But going on another move, he has his Crossfire. I actually really like this move because he puts his hand in, like, you know how a cross is, like, you know, God and stuff. You put a cross, or an X, you know, you put a cross of like one finger over another, and using his fire in some way, shape, or form, an iron sight or something that you put on a gun, he can aim it, because it shows like a red stream of light of where it's gonna go, and then he can, like, by putting fire on it, he can instantaneously catch it on fire, whatever's inside of his path, which I find really cool. It's like a gun, but at the same time, it's kind of not. It's kind of cool to me. But got his other move, which is Sacred Flame / Godfire Seafire, which is kind of a how do I say this? It's kind of like an undertoning. Is that the right word? But it's just not the right name I'd use for the technique. He literally just like gets some spears, and it's made out of fire, of course, and he just throws it for him to call it Sacred Flame God or something, it's not, he don't need to do all that. But anyway, moving on to his next move. He has his Mirror Flame. This was really, well, I shouldn't say that. He used it against Aokiji, and that was like the only time that he used it. And it basically blocked his Ice Pheasant. I mean, it's kind of just a wall of fire. Like, yeah, that's literally what it is. His Flame Up net is kind of interesting. He creates a circle of fire around like a person or selected area, and then he kind of like prevents anybody from leaving or entering the area. So it's kind of like a trap, you know, kind of like how Doflamingo has his bird cage. He can kind of do that. It kind of like, you know, produces a net of fire. All these types of things he can do. And then his greatest move, which he used against Blackbeard, which is by far the best move that I've seen so far. This nigga Ace creates a literal fire spirit bomb. Well, actually, it's called the Great Flame Commandment Flame Emperor. Basically, just holds his hand up and just creates a big giant ball of fire. You know, just like it's like a spirit bomb, but just red and fiery. That's about it. He just kind of hurls it at people. I'm pretty sure to just like, you know, kill anybody that it hit. But yeah, that's what that does. Now, the fruit itself has some very interesting interactions with things, and I mean that in the sense that its interactions with the Moku Moku and the Hie Hie, which are the Smoke fruit and the Ice fruit or the Chili fruit respectively, basically it's an equal to them. And what I mean by that is that the Moku Moku no Mi, if the Moku Moku no Mi's abilities and the Mera Mera no Mi's abilities were pinned up against each other, it would equal out. Smoke equals fire inside the One Piece universe. This kind of doesn't make any sense, but hey, that's what it is. Ice and fire, that makes sense. So with ice and fire, you know, well, it kind of doesn't make sense, but at the same time, it's whatever. But Aokiji can produce ice, and of course, Ace can produce flames. And when they met, they just kind of clashed, and it was just like, oh yeah, they equal out to each other. Ooh. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess that's cool. So then you got other stuff, like, of course, Sabo eating the fruit, but as I said before, he doesn't do anything that's really special with it. Nothing really. Couple of fun facts about the fruit though. Ace's fire has actually changed color throughout the series. Like, first it was more, how do I say this? More red-orange. Then it was kind of changed to a more yellow-orange. But then when Sabo got it, it kind of made it more red-orange again. It's kind of dumb. You know, also, the fruit was actually, if you were paying attention when Morgan was explaining fruits and stuff, like all the different devil fruits that could have happened in episode 3, I believe. There was a fruit that he was alluding to that allowed people to use fire or something. This was actually foreshadowed. So, you know, Ace has the fruit, obviously. Also, a weird ability that I didn't know that happened. Apparently, Ace can set things on fire from a distance. This was only shown in the anime once when Ace set Sanji's cigarette on fire for him as like a nice gesture because he didn't want to use his lighter, and he never used this ability ever again. I feel like this would have been a useful ability to have. You know, he could have just, I mean, look, if Oven's able to set things on fire, I want Ace to do it too. That's about it for the fun facts and everything that. Then we got the potential. Now, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I don't think Ace used this ability, or Ace didn't use this ability to its full potential. If he wanted to, there is so much shit that he could have done. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't say so much shit that he could have done, but at least been a little bit more creative. Like, through the novels, we know that this nigga has hockey. So, you know, he could have just, you know, fucking, I want to say that he can make his flame hard. What I mean by that is that he can make it somewhat solid. I'm not sure if any of you guys watch My Hero Academia, but the way that Endeavor uses the fruit, that's kind of the way that I expected Ace to use the fruit. The way that Endeavor used it, he was able to create fire that was kind of hard to the point where he could throw it and it could pierce a Nomu midair. There was a time when he actually used the fire to run up against the wall. Of course, Ace wouldn't have to do that, or Endeavor for that matter, because they could just sprout fire from their feet and they could fucking fly. But you know, Ace never did any of that. I mean, nigga never did any of that. Then you also got the fact that blue fire. I'm not sure if this would be an awakening or not, but if he could, wouldn't it be more interesting for Ace to use blue fire instead of red fire? I mean, look, listen, it's possible because it's still fire. Mera Mera No Mi, fire, flame, fruit. You feel me? You know what I'm getting at? Anyway, that's about it for the video. I made this shit too long. It's already 17 minutes long. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.